Hello, and welcome to the Verdant Mosaic. My name is Tyler, and welcome to my channel. This is my very first YouTube video ever, which is exciting. It's an exciting time. So as my very first Let's Play, I decided to do Dark Souls 3, because I'm very into the Dark Souls series, and I thought this would be a fun thing to do. So yeah, let's go into character creation, and I can give a little rundown of my intentions for this playthrough. Yes, that is what we are doing. Let me just, the setting thing on here. While that happens, y'all can watch this.
Yes, indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep, Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
Okay, that was a cool intro. I've seen it before, but it's always really cool to see them talk about things, all fantasy and whatnot. While I am making my character, I thought I would just give a little rundown on some things about me and my reasons for doing all this. I'm gonna do Hearth, just because I like that name. It fits with the themes of fire, and if I ever get to play D&D as a player and not as a dungeon master, that's a character name I'd like to use. So I am a playwright and theater enthusiast in Austin, Texas, in the United States. So just so if I talk about theater things and or Texas things and or Austin things, that is why. I'm not just really into Texas, but I live in Wisconsin. That would actually be interesting but strange, but that's why. And my motivations, well, I write for a website and YouTube channel called Player Versus. It is run by a friend of mine named Becky Schmader, among other people. If you want to go visit their website and read things that I have written and or my friends have written, I am going to put a link below the video that you can take a look at. And they do some Let's Plays, and I was like, I enjoy this. I have seen these. I can do this. So much like a 90s movie, I decided to get in on the act, as it were, if I was Whoopi Goldberg and, you know, I was trying to teach some nuns how to sing. The equivalent, me being killing things on the internet for you to watch. So yeah, it looked cool. I wanted to do it. I thought I could do it. I'm doing it now. If this actually gets on YouTube, in which case, yes, I've done it. Otherwise, I'm saying this to no one, and this is for naught. But you know, we're gonna stay positive. Some other reasons are, you know, life gets pretty boring in the adult world. Just, you know, going day to day. Working a job, paying off some debt, you know, for that degree in theater that doesn't really do you any good in a real way. And, you know, you work with a lot of old people that you don't really relate to, and you spend your days thinking about things that are beyond your control until you feel like you want to go insane. So, you know, trying to stay positive, and I'm like, yeah, you gotta find things to fill your day or else you go insane. That's basically what this is. This is my attempt at avoiding madness through playing games. And I think it'll go well. I do. So, you know, thanks everybody. You're keeping me from losing my mind. I'll go with that. Hair color. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this just because invariably we don't really look at the character's face or hair. But you know, making a character is in a way a kind of ritual that helps you get into character. Not so much for the actual looking at the character, but you are becoming the character. Like, either you want to turn it into a version of yourself wherein you are experiencing these things, or you are turning it into a version of yourself that you would like to be, or a persona or a character you'd like to play. That's why this is a role-playing game. You are taking on a role. That might be obvious, and you're like, yeah, duh, of course, we know all this stuff. We feel that way all the time. But, you know, it's good to go over things every now and then, because people don't always, and it's always fun to learn new things. Unless you're adverse to learning, in which case I'd have nothing for you. You should probably just get off this immediately and find something new to do. I don't know what it is, but yeah, something. For I have nothing for you. Anywho, so yeah, doing it because it's fun, because my friends were doing it, because I was bored, because the drudgery of life can wear you down and crush your spirit. Yeah, those things. I feel like that's good. I might have other reasons, but you know, let's start, just because we're already about 10 minutes in. You're probably like, get on with the game, idiot. That's probably going to be a comment, either to be funny or serious, either way. Another reason is the 20th century philosopher Michel Foucault says that we are a confessional society, and that we gain insight into ourselves and have a fundamental need to confess. This was originally... Oh, there's a cutscene. I will finish what I was saying in a minute. It's a graveyard. Ominous. Sorry, I'm getting giddy. I'm very excited. Things are happening. Life is happening, everyone. I know I lied. I said I'd let you watch it, not interrupt, but I couldn't resist. I know. It's gonna be fun. You chose to watch this. Okay. Life is happening for us, but for him, he's dead. Or not even dead. He's in some weird limbo state that we'll go over later. But as I was saying, Michel Foucault, who died of AIDS in the 1980s, very tragic. He believed that we are a confessional society with a need to confess. This originally started with the church, you know, confession. You would confess your sins and the things that you did to a priest, and you would be absolved of sins through confession. Now that's a very pared down, generalized version of that. But you get the idea. You've seen movies. But then when religion stopped being the focal point of our, you know, society, therapists are the people we turn to and other things like that, and we talk to other people, we confess, and now we do it through selfies and social media, and somehow through these expressions and confessions we hope to show people our inner life and an inner truth that we cannot show through talking, because we've come to realize that even when we talk a lot, we don't really communicate, or, you know, there isn't... I'm gonna turn up the game audio just a little bit. Okay. Or no, not that much. Okay. But yeah, this is my form of confession, just because I don't like posting on social media about things, just because I never feel like I have anything to say. That's kind of funny, because I've been talking this much. It feels like I'm talking a lot, but you know, you came here to listen to that. Anywho... So yeah, I've chosen the assassin because he has high dexterity and intelligence, and I like to do both of those things. I like to do magic and dex weaponry. I'll probably start shooting things once I find magic. Anywho, this guy's attacking. Oh. Stab. Off to a good start. Ooh, dropped an item. Pillage. Fading souls, so we can use that item and it will give us some souls, which can be useful later on if we need to repair something, or, you know, whatever, or if we need a little more souls in order to level up. If you are unfamiliar with the game, or things like that, I will explain some things. If you have questions, you know, leave comments, and I'll try to be enlightening. Okay, let's see what we got here. I have played this section to a point, so I know it's up ahead, but other than that, this will be completely blind. So, you know, we get to learn things together. Isn't that fun? Pillage. Okay, this is the Ashen Estus Flask. Now, this guy looks like the knight that rescues the undead in the beginning of Dark Souls 1. I'm not sure if that is meant to be a story thing that's actually canon, or if that's just supposed to be a fun cameo. But anywho, let's read the description. I enjoy item descriptions in this game, and if you are at all familiar with the game, you know that that's where most of the story comes from. So, the Ashen Estus Flask. Undead treasure these dull ashen flasks. Fill with Estus at bonfires and drink to restore FP. That's the blue bar that governs magic and weapon skills. Quite befitting of an unkindled, an Ashen Estus Flask turns a bonfire's heat cold. And then the Estus Flask, which restores health. The undead treasure these dull green flasks. Fill with Estus at bonfires and drink to restore HP, so our health. The journey of an undead has always traced the bonfires, and no journey of import has been made without an Estus Flask. So this is the dark sign. The dark sign is the sign of an accursed undead. The dark sign returns its bearer to the last bonfire rested at, or the bonfires at Firelink Shrine. But at the cost of all souls held. So if we die, we drop all of our souls that we've been carrying. Carriers of the dark sign are reborn after death, and eventually lose their minds, turning hollow. And so it is they are driven from their homelands. Then we got the Fading Soul. The Black Separation Crystal. This banishes invaders from our game, but I don't know if they're going to be, well, there could be some computer ones, but I am not connected to the internet because I do not want to pay for that, because I got loans, and that is where my money goes. Yeah. Anywho, the Way of the White Circlet, that is for online play, and that will be of no use to me. So moving on. Let's see. Our weapon is an S-stock, which is a thrusting weapon. Yep, and equipped it. Okay. Large thrusting sword used for piercing through the armor of knights. The sharp edge of the sword's rock-solid blade can also be used in slashing attacks. Skill, shield splitter. Aim carefully and attack in a large forward lunge and pierce through enemy shields and inflict damage directly. So this is good at getting past enemy shields. Our sorcerer's staff is used to cast sorceries, common catalyst given to sorcerers of the Vinheim Dragon School. Equip a catalyst to use sorceries. Sorceries must be attuned at a bonfire before use. Skill, steady chant. Boost the strength of sorceries for a very short period. Works well equipped in either hand. Then we got the metal round shield. Its skill is parry, so we'll be able to repel enemy attacks, which shall open them up for a forward critical hit. The 4 distinctive protrusions are designed to brush attacks aside, making it ideal for parrying. And let's see, we got the assassin clothes. Black cloth covering the face of the assassins who lurk in the shadows. Grants much needed protection to the head as well as cover from rain while pursuing a target on the road. Soft leather armor worn by assassins who lurk in the shadows. The thick leather offers reasonable absorption without creating any undesired noise. A well-crafted piece of protection. Critical spots are reinforced with metal. Let's see. Soft leather gloves worn by assassins who lurk in the shadows. The thick leather offers reasonable absorption without creating any undesired noise. A well-crafted piece of protection. Okay, so this one is probably along, yeah, soft leather, thick, reasonable absorption. Okay. So yeah, that's all of our items. I picked the fire gem. We can use this to turn a weapon and to give it fire element, which is effective against certain enemies, but it will cost the weapon scaling, which can be a drawback depending on what weapon you use, but we'll get into that later. Anywho, let's get back to killing things. I know, if I don't keep moving, your brain will stop taking in information. He did. These enemies, at least with this sword, at least, most enemies die in one hit, which is good for us. Ooh, 2 at a time. Sometimes they tell us to take it 1 day at a time. I say 2. Because I have things to do. Okay, let's see what's going down here. Here are messages on the ground. Turn back, it says. And I say, nay! I defy you and your message. Though ignoring good advice in this game often leads to death, but then again, you're gonna die anyway, so you know, why not just do whatever you want. Oh, the shield is not super effective at mitigating most damage. Oh! Okay, we're gonna have to use some of our Estus. That's fine, this is the early game, nothing really... Ah! Oh boy. Oh, okay, I might die. Crystals. This is not like Steven Universe. I don't feel good but sad at the same time. I just feel scared. Ooh! Okay. Gotta Close the gap. Yeah. Whoa. Gotcha! Haha! We got the Titanite scale. Let's take a look at that. Titanite scale. Reinforced soul transposed weapon to +4. Titanite altered by a soul. Reinforces soul transposed weapons to +4. Weapons forged by soul transposition can only be reinforced by Titanite of the same kind. In rare cases, crystal lizards devour souls, growing to monstrous proportion and leaving these great scales. In previous games, there would be these tiny lizards that would be all shiny, and if you killed them, they would drop Titanite and other items you could use to upgrade weapons. Pillage Corpse, Soul of an Unknown Traveler. That's another thing like the Fading Soul. Probably worth slightly more because it has a name. But it looks like in this game, in the way the world has advanced, the Titanite demons have, or the crystal lizards have been feeding off of souls and mutating, becoming stronger. So let's hope for a bonfire, because I am out of Estus. So just about anything could kill me. Anything? Yes, anything. I'm not gonna patronize you with that. Oh. Ah, darn it. I mistimed that. Parry is L2. Riposte after a sex. Basically, it's like a backstab, only from the front. So let's see. I guess yeah, everything is leading us up here through this crag. Let's see what this says. Change weapons, toggle items. That view, and it looks like we are walking around the side of a giant castle. Yeah. I wonder when we will get in there. Everything in its time, I suppose. And that looks like a bell tower of some sort. And at its base seems to be a house. But first we will have to move through. That looks like a graveyard. Well, all of this is a graveyard, but more of a graveyard. Okay, we got to a bonfire. Which means we get all of our Estus back. We also got the emotion of rest. Alright, there's nothing we can do here until we meet up with somebody. There are two. I don't have any ranged abilities yet. Uh-oh. These enemies do a considerable amount of damage, but they also leave themselves wide open. So I guess it's showing you, giving you ample opportunity to backstab and to parry and whatnot. Now, I can't remember if doing backstabs and ripostes gives slightly more souls than if you just kill them in the normal way. Like, killing is normal. In this world, it is. Uh-oh, we're at a disadvantage. So he has a shield, and his friend has a crossbow. Now it is a... Ah! What? Skill, you lied to us. That hurt. Okay, we got him. Pillage. Fire bombs. Let me make sure nothing's behind us, because they like to do that sometimes. And are active. Let's see. It has strength and skill scaling. Oh, I didn't know that. Items now have scaling, apparently. Bisque urn filled with black powder explodes, inflicting fire damage. Fire damage, which differs from physical damage, is highly effective against creatures of flesh, beasts, and other foes that might naturally have cause to fear the flame. So basically, anything that looks like it is biological, or if it can burn, it is weak to fire. So probably not the Titanite demon that we fought. Would probably have a resistance to fire. But a weakness to magic? I'm not sure. The weaknesses and affinities are a little... I've always been a little unclear, or occluded. I will try to learn about those in this playthrough. Got it. Titanite shard. Let's see, reinforces to +3. Titanite shard for weapon reinforcement reinforces weapons to +3. Titanite shards are fragments of the legendary slabs Titanite is etched into weapons to reinforce. So this is like our basic item. And it'll make our weapons stronger. While falling, press R1 for plunging attacks. Gotcha! If you hear meowing, my roommate's cat is just outside the door, and he loves me, but I need to focus. Because cats laugh at the endeavors of man, for they know them to be in vain. Dark stuff, but you know, it's a cat. Another thing I would like to do with this playthrough is actually figure out what the story is like. Because in both Dark Souls 1 and 2, I have been woefully lost to the finer points of the story. I understand it's about fire and death, but you know, the specifics have always sort of eluded me. So I'm going to pay special attention to what's going on. That is a giant coffin. It looks like it's open, covered by a tree. Of course, the thing that they want us to look at is this guy. Looks like a knight. Looks like a king wearing a crown. He is stabbed through, I'm guessing, the heart by a sword. It looks like one of the swords that marks bonfires. It looks like something's growing out of him. Let me look around here. I feel like all of these little fires are meant to sort of look like bonfires, but not really. Alright, we're down 1 Estus, but I feel like we can at least give it a try. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can do this in one shot. Ah! Oh boy. Ah! Oh boy. So yeah, he is actually dangerous at close range. He'll punch you in the face. Yeah! Okay, my shield can mitigate some of the damage, but oh boy, I misjudged the range of that, of his glaive. Okay, first death. Y'all got to see it. It's a big day, full of firsts. Okay, we're gonna try that again. this time we will not misjudge distances. Fading Soul. So another one of those. I like the back jump. It's like a little hop. Yeah! Because with thrusting weapons, the point is to get the tip into their organs. Alright, here we go. It just starts out the gate. Oh boy! Ah! Such a wide arc. Uh-oh. He's become monstrous. Like a dragon? Oh, boy. Throw a few firebombs. Ah! Difficult to see what he's doing at this range. Got him! Okay. Oh no. Alright, we're just gonna have to deal with our sword. This isn't working. Got him! Haha! Okay, not too shabby. The Heir of Fire destroyed. We also got the coiled sword, and we became embered, which is like a form of human. Okay, not too bad. We got another bonfire. They're pretty liberal with bonfire placement, at least in the beginning here. Okay, we got our Estus recharged. Let me take a look at that sword. It's under keys. Thrust in shrine bonfire to activate bonfire warp. Sword missing from the shrine bonfire cannot be equipped as a weapon. Thrust into the shrine bonfire to restore its power and enable travel between bonfires. The sword is only bequeathed to chosen Ash, as judged by the Ludex, who awaits the arrival of Ash as a scabbard. So he's sort of the judge to see whether or not the kindled or unkindled are worthy. And I believe the kindled are basically people who have linked the Great Fire, which is the ultimate goal in the past two games. Or you can choose to either link the fire or let the Age of Fire end and bring in the Age of Dark. So darkness and light. Neither one wholly good or evil, much like a woman's heart or the ocean, if James Cameron is to be believed. Anywho, I think that is a good place to stop for our first video. If you have watched all the way through, thank you very much. If you stopped halfway through my ramblings, I understand, but know that I will not forget it. Ever. Anywho, thanks for watching. I will be, come on back if you want to watch more. We're going to keep on playing through, having a fun time, learning, growing as individuals, learning. I said learning twice, but it's doubly important because growths can kill you. Get them checked out from your doctor. Anywho, signing off now. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.